And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Stevie P Show on a Friday. We're slightly late because of a bit of miscommunication. As you can see, I'm joined by Reza, but not physically joined Reza.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I even have a chair for you, dude. It's
legit.
here.
Virtual high five.
Wait. You're doing it. There we go.
Here we go.
Wow, your hand looks massively
Not too
better.
bad. My apologies. My apologies, Steve. Next time.
Next time, yeah. So next time. So we will be doing. Oh, chair. Yeah. Yeah. Right, so the good news is that I've got a bit more sphere to operate, which comes in handy at times.
Yeah, you
So
might need
first
it.
of all, Bees, it's Friday. How's your Friday going? How's life?
Yeah, listen, there's never been a bad Friday in the history of Fridays. So yeah, feeling pretty good, pretty happy. Looking forward to a spectacular weekend of sport.
Speaking
Very
of,
excited.
I mean, I'm busy watching him with Vuma, and I'm at three figures next to his name. I mean, how do we get a better start to the weekend than watching my man Tim Vuma, captain, coming off a pair and going, I'm going to score a ton in the innings whilst my team's under pressure.
Yeah.
My man.
Yeah, him and Mulder's definitely woke up this morning and were like, stuff the haters. Let's get out there and do the business.
Yeah, 100%. Mulder just falling recently, unfortunately, but it's still going strong and is now getting peppered by Alzari Joseph. But this one's for you, Timber. Reese's not joining this beer, but
I've got cough mixture. Does that suffice?
yeah, I mean, it'll be alcohol.
I might get a bit of buzz, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, well, there we
Cheers,
go. So,
buddy.
Timber, here's to you. Yeah, more. And yeah, I say, what a great way to start the weekend. And before we dip in sport, recent weekend plans. We're both on the cricket field on Sunday and looking very hot. Look, there's going to be a bit of a scorcher over there.
Yeah, we seem to have avoided having to play in Lens, which is great news. Very excited about that, but not excited to stand in the sun. I think I'm still peeling from last weekend's game in the sun. But yeah, looking forward to putting on some runs with my boy Stevie P.
Yeah, I hope so.
Very-
Well, at the end of the day, we've just seen how to do it, apparently. So,
Now look, guys, we will report back next week on how Steve does. He may
what
even be
about
keen
you?
this weekend.
Yeah, true. Actually, I'm going to be gun behind the stunts. You're about to see, Adam Gilchrist reborn.
Look, we could report back on my stats, but they're going to be very consistent, so a bit boring.
No, we'll report back on my wild-keeping exhibition. In fact, I might actually take the video camera up and send them to Shukri because obviously class is under pressure here. So I think I only need to average more than 10 to warrant a call-up. So I'm backing myself. I do think we can get the business done. So in terms of what's to come in the next sort of 25 minutes, we are going to be talking about what's going on with the cricket match, which is currently happening over at Wonders. We're talking a little bit about the footy. We've had some Champions League and Europa League footy as well. And we're going to try and stay away from that horror 7-0 loss that Manchester United suffered on Sunday. But to be honest, I don't really care about it because the main thing is that they rocked up yesterday and they got the done against Real Betis. So as far as I'm concerned, season is back on track. And we're going to be talking a little bit about the weekend. And there's some Six Nations, there's some Curry Cup. We're going to be doing some quick fire predictions like we did last week. And BK might be back next week, in which case we'll be able to review the predictions we did last week. I predict Lions to win last week in Lucky Five predictions, and they did. I predicted the Sharks to lose, which they did. I predicted Munster to Scarlets, although I don't think I got the scoreline correct. So I think that was about 50-50. If I can look at my predictions. So Reece, you're gonna put the cock in the block and get some predictions in. You a little bit later as well. We'll sort of divide the various competitions between us, and we can each do a bit of a quick predictions there as well. And we've got Kyle Walker, who apparently likes to have some drinks and get certain items of, body parts out in public. And we've got a very interesting video to react to as well. So it should be quite a fun show. Reasonably, let's talk about the cricket, which is currently on Saka, leading by 282. And a test match starts on a Wednesday. It's a Friday. We're already into day 3. Why do CSA hate us and why can we not watch test cricket?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're also kicking themselves. They obviously wanted to go to all 5 days, and we don't seem capable of doing it. And although it's looking better, I suppose, than it did a little earlier in the morning. Why do we not get more of this, though? This is what an exciting product. I love this. We need more test matches in our lives, and we need more of them in SA.
Yeah, I think the annoying thing for me is that scheduling was sort of the big reason that they were saying because of all the ODIs and stuff like that. My question is could we not have started at least on a Thursday? So
Yeah.
that this day of cricket that we're watching here would have been on a Saturday. We would have watched 10 movements of a packed Wanderers scoring his time. Manchester scored, probably played the most important knockers here to about 10 people, you know. Um,
Yeah, look, maybe it was a good thing for him. Who knows?
yeah,
To be honest,
true.
maybe he prefers it that way. But yeah, really, really, really fantastic innings by Timber. I'm sure he's not going to care if there's 1 or 1 billion people. His family's there. I'm sure they're very happy. And the team were very happy. You could see even Mulder was having a little stress out for him there, out in the middle. And he's got us well back into position here. This is not a nothing 100. This is incredibly important in the context of this game. And yeah, big ups to him. Long may it continue.
Correct. I mean, we currently lead by, I think it's about 240 odd, around about 213 at the moment, and we've almost scored 120 of them, so scoring well over half the runs in a 200 score. Pretty impressive. Simon Harmer currently out there with him. Good to see Van Mulder getting some runs, but a bit of a concern in that, as he does with that order, Simon Harmer. Kikisha Bada potentially not able to bowl. We're not quite sure what the situation with his fitness. So the question is, if KG doesn't come bowl, and we've got to rely on our 2 spinners, Van Mulder and Gerald Coetzee, how many runs do we need for him to be able to defend it?
Well, I mean, I back Gerald Coetzee to bowl 40 overs on the trot, to be very honest with you. But whether they're good overs at the end of it's a different story. But yeah, I think a defendable total is about 260. That's to me is a fair pass score. And you'd be pretty happy walking away with that, considering where we were.
Are we talking about a lead of 260 or score us 260?
I think a lead of 260 is enough. But if they were to score 260 now, and obviously, what does that bring our lead to? That would be
our lead is currently 2-7, so we go add an extra 40 around that, and that'll take us to about 330 odd.
So I think we're already past par, in my opinion. I think 300 would be a great marker. We know how the Wanderers plays, but in recent times it's actually been a bit difficult for guys to score those big numbers that we were used to seeing, the 400 pluses. I think 300s, they'd be more than happy with that. Walk away satisfied and pretty confident that you can stifle them.
Okay, that's the cricket story, and hopefully next week we'll be talking about the fact that we whitewashed the Western and life was all good as we move into the whiteball stuff. Right, so what about the footy? We had some Champions League this week, and Bayern Munich knocking out PSG, Chelsea doing the unthinkable and actually playing a real game of football and getting over the line, getting themselves through as well. We also Spurs crashing out. Then last night we Arsenal drawing to Sporting Lisbon 2-0. Manchester United responding very well to their 7-0 victory by winning 4-1. Let's start with United fans. How upset are you still about Sunday, or after last night are we just over it? Because I personally am over. It's pretty much over the next day, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm a little. I thought about it a little bit, and I figured that it's 7-0 or 1-0. It really makes no difference in the context of things. A loss would have been the same amount of devastating. Of course, we've all got to take our banter at the hand of our mates, which has been a standard during the week. And fair enough. But to be honest, it's a good season so far. I'm really happy with it. I think that the boys' performance last night was spectacular for them to bounce back like that. The United of old would have continued on down a very morbid path, and we're still in the running for a number of trophies. So, I count this as a very successful season so far. And the boys look good. They look sharp.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing, and I think you've said right now in the context, we were never really in the Premier League title race, so we're sitting quite well behind 1 and 2, and quite well ahead the rest. So goal difference means nothing to me. Yeah, at the end of the day,
put some pressure on City though. I think there's still an opportunity there, especially going into a new season. But the mental side of things, I think it's quite a big thing to really push City.
Mm-hmm. No, I think we do need to have a good finish. But I think, as I said, the main thing is that we got hammered by 7-0 by Liverpool, and yet we're still running for 2 more trophies. We've already won a trophy this season, and we're not almost, but barring a horror end to the season, we should comfortably get top 4 fantasy football. So, if you said at the beginning of the season that you had a trophy in the Champions League football, we probably also have taken it. And now we've got a very good fighting chance of the FA Cup and a very good fighting chance of Europa. So I'm pretty much at the fact that the season's already a bit of a success. And if Liverpool fans want to bat us despite being in a genuine Champions League race where they might not get Champions League and not in line to win any other trophies at this rate, I personally think that's what they want to celebrate. Because I remember being there where that's the only thing you could celebrate is the fact that you'd beaten Liverpool or City.
What do you think of the Weghorst celebration there? The man was always in tears for a team that's not even his. I'm like, well, the man wants to get bought.
Yeah, listen, I love Vogt. I think I'm such a Vogt stan. I think he's so cool. I think he's so passionate. I think he's just absolutely. I mean, this guy's living his dream. It's a bit like when Igalo came, but I mean, I'm seeing more passion from Vogt. You could just see what it means to him. He's a guy that was thrown away. He came and nailed in the Premier League. Now he's playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world. He's playing every game. He's now scores in Europe for them. Yeah, it was a huge celebration. I personally think that I should keep him. I don't think we should.
Tell me something. What do you think a fair number would be?
What, like cost money, like price wise?
If you were to buy him today.
I wouldn't pay more than like 10, 10 to 12. I don't think it'd cost us that much. I don't think I still want us to go and buy a big striker. I still want us to go and drop big money on a big striker. But at the end of the day, Anthony Martial can't stay fit. I personally think that Vogt has actually become such an important part of the team in the last couple of months in his link-up play as a work rate that I think there's a lot he can offer the club. Not as a striker and as your sort of premier goal scorer, but there are far worse options coming off the bench than that man. So I've actually been quite happy with what I've seen from him so far.
Sure.
And then
we buy Mbappe.
Yeah, well, I mean, he surely has to leave. We're talking now about once again out of the Champions League. A team, look, they went out to Bayern Munich. There's no shame in going out to Bayern Munich, but just a team full of superstars with what I've been saying: zero football culture, zero team culture, no sort of do or die attitude, and it's kind of just a bunch of superstars rocking up, playing well, which is enough in the French league. But Champions League, you've got to have something special, and they just don't have something special right now. And I actually said, and I said, until they change the culture, the way they sign players, who they sign, the way they go about things, I don't think they'll ever Champions League.
It's interesting for me because obviously now we're talking about the same group in essence between PSG, Newcastle, and so on, and we see on one hand Newcastle with a completely resurgent season and ostensibly the same source of money and higher management behind the scenes. So why does that not translate to PSG? I'm a little stumped. I don't know if it's a case of maybe we're blaming it on something and they've just been unlucky.
See, my point is, they've been unlucky now for like 5 years.
So some would argue so have City though.
I think that City, I think it's like a mental block. I think almost the same with the PSG, but I just think that, we're seeing with a PSG, I think, like you look at a Newcastle, and I think Newcastle signed some big name players, massive superstars. I mean, you look at like Sven Botman, Kieran Trippier, your sort of superstars in inverted commas, and they're not big players. But I also think they've got a manager who is very down to earth, who's very I think he looks at profiles of players, and they've signed very intelligent players that fit into a good system, that I think fit into a good team culture. Whereas I think PSG, they just go on a shopping list, don't they? And there's so many big egos there, and to try and manage those egos, you saw how Poch completely failed. Whereas I think something like Poch, if he was in charge of the Newcastle project, would be doing very well, like Eddie Howe is. So I don't know if it's a case of you can go and get something like Zinedine Zidane who can manage the ego, you can really sort of stamp his authority and maybe he gets it right.
How do you do that when you've got someone like Kylian he's not just a big name player, he's effectively a part owner of PSG? Does that impact on his ability to leave? That he's invested so heavily in the success of this club. I personally took that last contract renewal and negotiation as this guy's going to be here for life.
And I also think that's kind of been their problem. I think there's far too much player power in that club. It's far much, we're a club, and therefore, Messi's like so much bigger than us, and Mbappe is so important. That was important, and like, PSG is kind of just the club they play, as opposed to this is PSG, this is who plays for us. It's well, these guys are all playing here. The whole Ferguson, no one's bigger than the club thing. I mean, that's definitely not the case there at PSG, and even at Real Madrid, when you had the second generation of the Galacticos, you had Benzema, Bale, Ramos, Ronaldo, some of the best in the world. It was still, well, this is Real Madrid. This is who Real Madrid are, and I just think that people got nothing like that.
I mean, credit to this Bayern team. Perhaps been a little understated of late, but quietly going about their business and doing what they need to do, and knocking out what is still a very good PSG side. Nobody get us wrong on that. They are quality, but can't seem to put it together in the big moments. And so Bayern repeatedly just doing their thing in the Champions League.
Yeah, it's you don't want to face the Champions League. It doesn't matter, even if they're having a poor domestic season, by their standards, they just decide that they're just European giants. They just know how to rock up when it counts at European side. And then we've got obviously the disaster class that is Tottenham Hotspur at the moment. I think Antonio Conte will be very surprised to see him there next season. It's just not working out for him. Chelsea, though, Graham Potter, who's under incredible amount of pressure, they've bought anybody and everybody under the sun, invested stupid amounts of money. They've been absolutely woeful in the Premier League, and all of a sudden coming and beating Dortmund.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge Chelsea fan, so reluctantly going, well done, Chelsea. Great stuff. But look, when you've got a team like that, they are always capable of big performances. And I think that was just their day. I don't see them going much further in the competition, if I'm honest. And then on the Tottenham part, I saw a bit of a rumor going around that they may approach Pochettino to return, which could be big for the club. And again, this whole culture of bringing Oaks back is a bit strange to me, and it seems to be across the board in sports at the moment, where clubs are running back to ex-managers and stuff. I don't know if that'll work for them. I hope it doesn't. Long may they suffer. And Chelsea, like I said, I don't think they're going much further than this. I think it was a once-off.
Yeah.
Good on the day.
No, I tend to agree. Right, let's move into our Upshot segment. Now, for those of you who are new to the show, there is a Twitter account called The Upshot. Go and give them a follow and stuff. They've got some very stories. Basically, their bio is drunken antics, dressing room squabbles, and everything else BBC Sport won't touch, with a barge pole, the funniest stories in sport in your inbox every Friday. So this story is absolutely mental. Now, they do a lot of stories about ex-players, about sort of older stuff. This is very recent, and it's Kyle Walker. So we're gonna go. There's a video that also accompanies it, so we'll play the video a little bit. But first of all, I want to take you guys through the thread, and it starts off by saying it's always tough to judge where Kyle Walker sits on the wrong nail. In his latest scandal, the City defender was caught on the CCTV waving his ear around in a Manchester bar. The context is, after Pep and gave the squad 2 days off, Kyle arrived by bus to a local bar and got stuck into an hour on the booze. He spent 9 minutes nicking pints and grinding against a female friend before whipping his flaccid knob twice. The tabloids are covering it with the kind of open-minded restraint you'd expect, but then again, it's not the first time Kyle's knob has got him into trouble. And there's a screenshot from The Sun, which ran the story. Kyle flashed shame, and says married Man City star Kyle Walker filmed drunkenly flashing in bar and snogging during afternoon boozing set. Let's the video show, and it's the most ridiculous video you're gonna see this week. So this is the video that has surfaced. That is Kyle Walker. Said Kyle Walker. That is the grounding.
Yeah,
and,
that looks like an attempt to put her in the bent over position. That's not flash number 1.
Yeah, there it is. He can barely. I don't know if he can barely walk. I don't know what's. Yeah, man doesn't look particularly. I mean, we've all had nights, bad nights. We've all had nights when we've been a little bit, on the booze and stuff. But, can't say I've ever decided to go to a bar, have a few, and then say, you know what would be a really good idea. I'm just gonna, and it's not like there's no one there.
Shaking hands with the same man he grabbed his knob out with. Fantastic, good stuff, Carl.
There we go. That looks like somebody.
Hey.
And the big thing is that if it's not the white, there's number 2.
Here's
And
number
it's out
2.
again.
To be fair,
To be fair.
it did look like whoever it was. Number
No.
3.
Well, to be fair, did he whip it out or did she just put it in? Or I don't know. Can't actually
Yeah,
tell.
I've got questions here. It looks like there were a lot of questions being asked about it, and he was simply obliging.
Yeah, and now that's it. Hang on, I'm gonna have to go back to that. This is what Macron paid the big bucks for. This is what Macron would just love. Things you love to see is Kyle Walker going around whipping out his wheelie and then making sure that the brand of jacket is there. And he's got a Macron sponsorship for life. That contract's definitely hitting his desk in the morning. I mean, it's just another bill. Like, listen, mate. You know, you spent.
That always getting kicked out.
No, he's yeah. Well, I like how that's when he's been kicked out. You know,
Yeah.
like it only took him like 3 times to take it out, and
No, it's
wave
like,
around.
oh yeah, no, mate. Thanks for paying the bill. By the way, you're 1 foot out the door, but we're kicking you out. It's like,
Yeah, now that you settled your bill, like
Yeah.
just by the way, I mean, what is
That's-
up with footballers?
I'm honestly at a loss for words. Cool to see some footage there, and to know that these oaks are, I won't even say human, but perhaps a little subhuman at times. But that's wild, dude. What are you thinking? How much are you getting paid, and you can't keep it in your pants?
Quite literally.
In a public bar.
Yeah.
You could probably buy your own bar, make it a private one, and whip it out all you want, dude. What are you doing it in the
Well, I mean, it's not like this guy's got a
local Weatherspoons? God.
Like that's the thing for me. That's what always kills me is the fact that these guys are always getting in trouble at random bars. You've got mansions. They've probably all got space to set up your own little nice bar where you can do what you want. You want to have an orgy, have an orgy. Get it out, dude. But I mean, you know there's CCTV cameras. You know that you're a public figure and people are watching you. What inspires you to decide, you know what, at like 5 o'clock, you decide to phone your mate saying, listen, organize a mini bus, I've got an idea.
Yeah, so tell me, how has this come to light? Is it simply just that the footage was leaked, or has somebody raised a complaint against him? Do you know?
It looks so. Sun Sport is running it. I don't know if there's a complaint against him. But yeah, the video came out on Sun Sport. They ran the story, that whole and again the fact that he's married obviously comes into it.
It could be. I mean, if it was a complaint and someone had laid a charge, I mean that's a criminal offence, sexual charge. Dude wouldn't be around kids. They'd have to make the Etihad Stadium kid-free.
Well, should we read the reactions? So this is what Pep Guardiola has said about the incident. Where is it now? No, this is. I don't want the video. I want the quote. So his wife posted a very cryptic Instagram post here. I'm trying to find out.
I do love the Wags responses. They're always wild.
Cheshire Police, by the way, have responded. They said on Wednesday, the 8th of March, the Cheshire Police were made aware of a video on social media in relation to an indecent exposure which allegedly occurred in the Wilmslow area. Inquiries in relation to the incident and the early stage, no arrests have been made at this stage.
I love their attempt at professionalism. They're like,
well, and this is, as I said, as you said, the response from the Wags are always brilliant. This is what his wife Annie Kilner has come out. She wrote on Instagram and said, "I think it's important to remember that no matter how good to people, it won't make them good to you."
Wow.
So yeah,
like she doesn't care 2 cents that he flashed it around. She cares about the 2 birds he was grinding.
Yeah, no, 100%. She's sitting there saying, "Listen, you can walk down the street hanging out. I don't give a flying." Yeah. But
guaranteed he got home, and she was just like, "Carl, how could you get caught on camera, you idiot?"
Yeah, maybe
like, I know you're cheating on me, but really,
yeah, maybe she signed off the entire event, and she was like, you know what, go forth and enjoy. She's got a girls' night, she's loving life, and then she's like, "Oh, you idiot! But you're supposed to get caught." Like, I mean, come on, that was the agreement. Now people are asking me about it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude, ridiculous. But I mean, wild times in the Walker household. I must be honest. Sometimes I have to wonder why these guys bother attempting marriage.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I'm just like, you know what, guys, you're international superstars. we all know you're not capable of living a normal life like the rest of us. So go forth and just try not to ruin someone else's life in the process.
Yeah, just go forth and you do you, you do you.
Yeah, spread your seed without causing controversy.
Yeah, it's quite simple. And have a girlfriend or something. Just don't get married, because that's where all the issue comes.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Or just have your benefits. Just be smart about this.
honestly, they could put out a flipping Craigslist ad and just be like, "Hey, looking for girlfriend for multi-megastar, who's open to me
Taking you out.
leaving her alone for 4 weeks at a time while I go do other chicks. Here's the allowance." Cool.
Yeah.
Thousands of responses,
And like
guaranteed.
a little asterisk. Also, there will be an instant where I will go down to the local bar and just start swinging it around and see what people have to say. There's always a possibility. Just it's like a sub clause.
But ridiculous. I do wonder what his punishment will be. On a serious note, because yeah, I mean, it is a sexual offense. It is so degrading. If Kurt Zuma is getting banned for kicking a cat, yeah.
Let's be honest. I reckon it'll be a fine. You'll have to do community service, something like that. You'll pepper and plan for a couple of games, and within 2 months, but next season it'll be fine. It'll be playing, and it will have moved on from. I don't see too much actually early.
Sure.
Never does seem to happen to these guys, does it?
Nope.
Right. Anyway, Carl Walker, you dirty bastard. Hopefully you have a good weekend after all that. And right, let's move on to our weekend of sport. We have got Six Nations. We have got Curry Cup, which actually starts. It's actually kicked off actually. The Curry Cup. Cheetahs versus Greek was over in Kimberley. Worst place to play in South Africa. Nice hard ground there. Welcoming the Cheetahs there, and we've also got some Premier League. So, Reza, I'm gonna hit you with the quick fire Curry Cup predictions. Or do you want Six Nations? Which one do you? Because if you take Curry Cup, I'll take Six Nations. If you want Six Nations, I'll take.
Yeah, no, I'll take Six Nations because I must be honest, I'm not watching any Curry Cup.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so let me pull up the Curry Cup fixtures. You make sure you've got the Six Nations. No, you whip the Curry Cup fixtures. I know the Six Nations fixtures. So you let me know when you're ready and you've got your head around your three predictions. So okay, but here's the deal: if you do Six Nations, you don't have to do Premier League, eh?
All right, Curry Cup predictions. Stevie P, Griquas, Free State Cheetahs.
Cheetahs by 10.
Cheetahs by 10. And tomorrow we have Golden Lions, Western Province.
Tough one. I'll tell you what, there's two good sides have been named. Lots of new players.
This is not a quick fire prediction.
Yeah, okay, fine. Lions
by 5. Bulls, Pumas.
Bulls by 7.
Okay, and then we've got a Sharks and TBD. So
it's the Griffins. I don't know which poor side hasn't decided to give their part of the Curry
Cup. Why it's giving me a TBD, but I think we're going Sharks there. Huh?
Sharks, Griffins. Sharks by 15. I'm keen to see how the Griffins do. It's cool to see a new team in the Curry Cup though. So that should be quite
Sharks
cool.
by 15. Right. Sharks by 40.
No, relax. Just the Sharks we're talking about. It's disarray. Although Joe Van is coaching them, so maybe they might have a decent defense. Okay, so Six Nations time. Are you ready? Are you prepped? Are you?
Yeah, let's get it.
Okay, Italy, Wales.
Italy by 10.
Italy by 10. England, France.
England by 14.
By 14. Scotland, Ireland.
Yep.
Scotland, Ireland.
Oh, sorry. Scotland, Ireland. I'm going Scotties by 5.
Yes, I wanted a controversial one. We can't be too easy here. See,
actually, I'm going to lower that now. Scotties by 2.
Scotties by 2. Okay, I'll allow you to lower it. I will not allow you to change it to Ireland. We've got to throw that one big.
No, they've got to get wrecked. To be honest, I'm not very confident about my England prediction, but I think they'll pull one out the hat. But
fair enough. Then we've got Premier League. So my suggestion is why don't you take tomorrow's fixtures, I'll take Sunday's fixtures, okay? Because there are 6 games tomorrow in the Prem and there are 4 on Sunday.
6 games tomorrow in the Prem. So you taking those, huh?
I'll take tomorrow, you take Sunday.
All right. Okay, let's run it through. Bournemouth, Liverpool.
Liverpool 1-0.
Leeds, Brighton.
Brighton 2-1.
Brighton 2-1. Brentford, Everton.
0-0. Everton clean sheet.
Okay. Leicester, Chelsea.
Chelsea 2-0.
Wow. Tottenham Forest.
Spurs 3-1.
And Palace City.
City pre-bar. Actually, no, it's Palace 3-1. 3-1. 3-1. I reckon Palace will score.
3-1. Okay. All right. Not too bad. Yeah, I tend to agree with you on most of those.
Then Sunday, Man United, Southampton.
2-0 United.
2-0. West Ham, Aston Villa.
Villa 1-0.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. Fulham, Arsenal.
Arsenal 3-1.
3-1. And Newcastle, Wolves.
I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's the slightly controversial one. I reckon Fulham will lead Arsenal at a stage. I've got a sneaky suspicion that I think Arsenal will win, but I think at the moment, the way that Arsenal have been playing, they've gone behind a lot recently, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens again on Sunday, especially with the Fulham side having a lot of confidence.
For your calls, I think that Brentford Everton, I think Brentford should come through that, or I'm hoping they do. But Everton have kept 2 clean sheets, I believe, in their past 2 games.
Dice ball, dude. Ball. Back up way short.
Yeah, but yeah, for the FPL players, double game weeks for a lot of your boys, so make sure those teams are in order.
Yeah, we should probably bring an FPL, and we'll do an FPL show, I reckon, next season on the channel as well. Right, Reece, very much for jumping on the Stevie P Show. To everybody that has joined us, thank you very much. Apologies for being a bit late. Had to get a couple of things sorted, but yeah, so next week, every single week we are looking for suggestions, looking at ways to try and make what is a sort of very fun, quick fire show a lot more entertaining. One of the things we would really like people to do is to start submitting their own amateur sports stories, a bit like the App Shop, because myself and BK were talking last week, and I was like, things I have seen on the sports field and in the change room, and that's only my experience. There must be some pretty incredible stories out there. So if you are watching, please do submit your stories. You can email them to YouTube at fairsportsmedia.com, and we'll be choosing the best story every week to read out on the show.
Yeah, and then hop into the Discord as well.
Yeah, so the Discord link is also in the description. And it's starting to pick up a little bit, so you can come jump in the Discord. We've got F1 and rugby going in there. We're going to be opening our cricket sections as well as footy sections. So lots of cool things come to the Discord. And in terms of your weekend forecast, you will be with myself tomorrow for Italy versus Wales, as well as England versus France. We are hoping to try and do Lions versus Western Province, as well as the Scotland versus France game on Monday. So if we can confirm some presenters for that, then we will let you guys know. Apart from that, no Formula 1 this weekend. We'll be back next weekend with Saudi Arabia. So you can join Mark and Reece on Monday for the build-up to that. Tonight, Stephen Kirk will be live at 6 p.m. for the Daily Wrap, so don't miss that. And then, yeah, plenty of action. We've got Curry Cup and stuff happening over the weekend as well. So there's
Stevie P, I believe there's a culture on the Stevie P Show. Since I can't do it.
To do what?
How much of that beer you got left there, bud?
About much, to be honest.
Yeah, for the boys, I think you should neck it.
I will, but I'm just putting it out there because I watched last week. We haven't forgotten BK does Tim Bavuma smacking 6 1 bounce 4. BK does owe us a full beer because the Bulls lost as well. So I'm going to do this in absentia for BK, and next time he's on there, he does have a full beer to owe us. But this is September, and to the Lions 2 in a row, getting the Curry Cup off to a great start.
Easy game.
Basically,
easy game.
Right, thanks, Weezy. Have a great weekend. See you on Sunday. And to everybody else, smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Please send us stories if you want to know what you guys have gotten up to in your amateur sporting careers and your moments. And we'll see us all very soon.
Cool. Thanks.